everyone, it's Erin here, and if you are new to my channel, I am doing a bullet journaling video. It is what I do a lot on this channel, so thank you guys for joining me for this 2020 setup video. I hope that you get a lot out of this video. So first I want to say that I am moving into a new bullet journal. If you have not seen my 2020 planner lineup video, I will link it in the card above because that is what YouTubers do. I am using an Archer and Olive notebook. It is in the A5 size and it is a dot grid notebook. So I wanted to do something that's kind of a little bit of a throwback for me, because I always like to have some sort of like underlying theme or color for my 2020 setup, or for any bullet journaling setup. I like to have some sort of consistency with the first several pages. So these pages are a geometric theme, and they are specifically a geometric theme for marine animals that are endangered. So I have done this geometric theme for endangered animals before, but I focus mostly on land animals, and so I thought it would be fun to do more of a aquatic type theme for this time around. I just want to say this is a cause that is near and dear to my heart. I'm an environmental scientist in my day job, and so the health and sustainability of species is something that I care pretty deeply about, because it goes pretty hand in hand with what I've chosen to dedicate my life and my career towards. So I will have more information linked below for the animals that are currently endangered, either critically so or just on the endangered list. And I don't mean just in a just connotation at all. I just mean that they have not risen to the level of critically endangered at this point in time. I also know that there's a lot of threatened and vulnerable species out there, but I am going to provide the list for critically endangered and endangered animals and ways that you guys can help out if you so choose. So I just want to put that out there as I am working on this theme. So I've decided to do something pretty simple for the cover page. I really like the idea of having this negative space for the dolphin, and I thought it would be really fun just to do a very simple lettering style. So I got out my Tombow brush pen. This is the View de Nosque brush pen, and I think I have the one that's in the soft I think it's a soft tip. And you know that if you look at the pen, it says WS-BS, or it says WS-BH, the H standing for hard tip, the S standing for soft tip. So I think I switched to a hard tip later on. It's actually been a little while since I've handled a brush pen because I've been using mostly jelly rolls for the past 6 months due to the blackout journal. So I'm still kind of getting into it, and something that I highly recommend is using the hard tips, the hard tip View de Nosque from Tombow if you are a beginner for lettering, because I think it is a great pen to start off with, and if you are getting back into lettering like I am, I think it is a great pen to do that as well. Moving on to my next spread. So this is the full calendar spread. I like to do this at the beginning of the year versus in the middle of the year. I usually just like to do the ending 6 months, but at the beginning of the year, I like to have a full 12-month calendar that I can use as a reference point for the rest of my spreads. So this helps me when it comes to setting up for the next month, trying to figure out what day the month starts on, because I usually set things up several weeks in advance. So it helps me to just have somewhere that I can glance at and that I know that The first day of January starts on a Wednesday? Thursday? I should know this because I set this up. On a Wednesday. January 1st is on a Wednesday. Anyways, so I really like to have a place where I can just go to one place and see the whole year. I can also reference later on if someone asks me if I can do something on X date, and I know that if it's a Thursday, then usually I am traveling back home or something like that. So I won't be able to partake in said activity. So it just is a nice reference point. It's a nice way to start off the bullet journal, and I really like to have something that is very clean, crisp, and it really helps me mentally start 2020. And I decided to continue the theme with this whale tail sticking out of the page. It looked kind of like a statue for a little bit while I was working on this. So I added some little water droplets because I thought that might help just kind of get the idea of the whale tail. But anyways, I like how it turned out overall, and I'm really happy with this entire page. And I'm actually going to play a trick on you guys in this page because I am going to snap my way through it because I don't think you guys want to watch that entire setup. It takes a long time to make sure that I was doing it right. I was going nice and slow because if you have been around this channel for a while, you know that I have screwed up this full calendar quite a few times in the past. And I will link you to my previous year. I think it was 2018 setup that I messed up like half of the calendars, and I had to put paper over them because I messed up so bad. So I was going nice and slow, double checking and making sure that I was getting things correct. I also use this mild liner brush pen. It is this gorgeous blue. I'm in love with this blue. It's very it gives me all the winter vibes. And I actually used a blue similar to this in the Tombow series, the dual brush pen, not the Funinosuke, last year for my January setup for the aquatic animals. And I love the vibes that this gives. I love it so much. So I use a Monday start calendar, by the way. This is a personal choice for me. I know that this is a contentious debate among people. However, I believe that my weekend should be grouped together, particularly because I travel a lot on the weekends and I work a lot during the week. So I would like to have my Monday through Thursday grouped together because generally I work a 4-10 schedule, 4 days, 10-hour days. So I like to have Monday through Thursday grouped together, and then I like to have Friday through Sunday grouped together because a lot of my activities over the weekend span the entire weekend, or if I'm traveling, it spans the entire weekend. So I really like to have those days together. It is a mental thing for me. You don't have to do it. Don't worry about it. That's the whole point of the bullet journaling system, is that we all get to do what we want to do. So just an FYI, that's what I do for this spread. And now, with the magic of editing, you are going to see me complete January and then hop right over to December. And look at that! Oh my gosh! February through November magically appeared because I love editing. So thank you so much to iMovie, which I am used to editing this. And thank you so much to Jazza, who has the daddest jokes, and I love the whole snap and you are magically going forward in time. after I have painstakingly written down all of the numbers. It is exhausting. If you do not want to set up all these numbers, there are lots of tools that you can use. There's lots of stamps and things like that. I did not end up selling these stickers this year. Maybe I'll put that together. I'm not sure. But I did not end up selling these stickers this year because I was very tired. So I was releasing a lot of Black Friday stuff, and this sheet in particular always gives me trouble with trying to make things line up correctly and also be legible and be able to read them and all that kind of stuff. So that is my full calendar spread, and we are moving on to the next spread. This bar chart is going to be used to track my business income. I did a very similar bar chart starting in July. July is when I started my blackout journal. Basically what I do is I use the bar charts. I use, it's like 3 spaces per month where 2 of the spaces, one has income, one has expenses, and then there is a space to go in between each of the months. So basically what I am tracking is my Etsy sales, I'm tracking my YouTube AdSense money, and then I'm also tracking quote unquote other. So this is from any sort, this is kind of catch-all for any sponsored posts, any time I'm working with a company or anything like that where they are, I don't know, paying me to promote their products or paying me for my input or doing a blog or anything like that. And so I used 4 different color mile liners to mark off Etsy, YouTube, other, and then the expenses is in this really pretty purple. Oh, I love that purple. It is so pretty. This side is going to be marked in $50 increments. However, I did not do that during the sit-up video, but I did set up for the bottom where it is spanning over 6 months. I am not sure if this bullet journal is going to last 6 months. If you watched my 2020 bullet journal or planner lineup, whatever it was, then you know that I am really going a little ham on my financial security and my wellness, and so a lot of that is going to be seen on the monthly level. I didn't want to put that stuff on the annual side of my spreads because I don't go back to these a ton. I usually go back to them about once a month or, you know, whenever I'm jotting down ideas. So I don't actively live on these pages, so I did not want to incorporate any sort of financial or wellness type of tracker on these pages since I don't go back to them. We are moving right along. So I have not done an Instagram tracker for a little while. I do this at the beginning of every year, and then by like halfway through the year, I get really frustrated with Instagram and their change of algorithms and all the things. But I just had this great idea for an Instagram tracker this time around, and I couldn't not do it. I don't know. I couldn't. I needed to do it. This circle stencil I am using is from Moxie Dory. I will link it with all the tools that I used in this setup down below. I tried to keep this a really pretty minimal this time around. I really wanted to keep like just mostly a black and white with just like the sparks of color. I had the thought of going a little bit more ham with the color and just, I don't know, really exploring that since I haven't gotten to do that so much with the blackout journal. I haven't gotten these like kind of calmer tones because that's just not what you really get with the jelly roll pens. But I really wanted to rein myself in, at least for the annual setup, and then maybe in January I'm probably going to get a little bit more ham because I'll be excited about doing this. Anyways, back to this Instagram tracker. So I thought it would be really fun to do the Instagram feed or someone's page as the growth tracker. So basically what I did is I set up Insta as the person's name, and then I just added the term growth tracker, and then I put in the little highlight circles that you see on a lot of business channels and things like that. So I put little icons in for those, and these are funny because they kind of reflect my icons on my own Instagram. And then under that, I wanted to do a banner for 2020 since I didn't need all 9 panels for each of the pictures. So I only needed 6 of them. So I put 2020 at the top as kind of this cool banner with a little blue drop shadow. And then I did January through June. And then you'll see me put SED, which means start, end, and then different. So I will put my numbers, my follower numbers at the start of the month, at the end of the month, and the difference. So you'll see me do that a lot in my monthly reviews, and I just wanted one place to collect it all on this Instagram growth tracker. And I thought it was really, I don't know, I thought it was really fun doing it as an Instagram feed. Maybe that's not inventive at all, but I haven't seen it, and please forgive me if someone has done it. I haven't seen it before, so I thought it would be really fun to do this. You saw me do one of my tricks where I use a white jelly roll pen to cross off my mistakes. I did the same thing with a black pen in my blackout journal. So if you make a small little mistake, it's really easy to take a white jelly roll or a white Uniball Signo or something like that to mark where you want the white. And you'll see me do this, or I did this again off screen later, and you'll see why. Anyways, so I am moving on to my YouTube growth tracker. I decided to freehand this because, I don't know, I just decided to. And it didn't turn out too bad, so I'm pretty happy with it. And I wanted to reflect what I did earlier on with the geometric patterns with the animals in this YouTube growth tracker and kind of do this mosaic for a YouTube growth tracker. This is similar to the mosaic that I did in 2018, where I did the heart as a geometric pattern, and then each section marks off a milestone in my subscriber or my follower count. So I did that in 2018 for Instagram and YouTube, and I kind of wanted to change it up this time around. So I did a YouTube play symbol, and you'll see me marking in the numbers here. 13 means 13,000 subscribers, and then you'll see me go to 26. My goal this year is to get to 20, so 26 was kind of a lot, and I am going to fill in that mosaic with those mild liners, the same mild liners that I'm using in the bar chart for my business income. So the next spread I'm working on is 20 and 2020. So basically what this spread is, instead of like 20 things to do by 2020, which is what I normally would have done and I have done in the past, I decided to do this 20 in 2020 so that I can use this kind of as a goal spread. That's pretty much what I'm doing, is I'm using this as some sort of goal tracker. So most of these are extremely goal-oriented versus in the past it was not only goals, it was like event oriented also. For example, I think 19 before 2019, I did something like book the honeymoon. It wasn't really a goal, it was just something that needed to get done that I was excited about. It was kind of more of like bucket listy type stuff, or like things to get me to my bucket list. So this time around, I thought it would be fun to do the 2020 as my goals. So there's a lot of different like categories that are in here, and some of these are very reflective of some of my past spreads, and I'll link a video. I think I did a specific video one year, so I'll link that video in the cards if I can find it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to have 20 of these panels and write down each of the goals in there, and then I'm actually going, oh, you can see that my hand started cramping while I was working on all of this. So I'm going to put the goal inside of there, and then after that I am going to cover it up with a little scratch off. So I thought this would be fun to give this spread some like metallic shine and have, you know, some sort of interactive element with this. So I decided to do the scratch offs, which is something that I used for my wedding, and it's what I bought. I think I bought it on Amazon. And if I can find it, I will link that in the description below as well with everything else. So basically you can mark this off with pen. I show you later in this video that I just did it with my nail. And so once I have that item completed, I will scratch off the ticket and move forward onto another item and continue on from there. And I have all of the items, each of the 20 items, on a piece of paper that I'm keeping in the notebook in the back cover, so that I can remember which is in which, because that is something that I probably would not remember later on. So I wanted to kind of put in a key that I can refer back to later on, instead of having to look back at this video every single time to figure out where a certain item was that I'm trying to scratch off. So I have a little key that I'm sticking in the pocket in the back of this notebook. So the first three are for work. They are my credentials. So I have my SBCC credentials and my EPGA credentials. I'm currently a Clean Air Act inspector for the federal government, and I'm just expanding into 2 more programs while I am in 2020. And then the third one is learning to code. I know how to code in R, but I don't know how to code enough to be able to use some of our software. So I want to just get into that a little bit more. Then I have the giant D-stash giveaway. I have so many items that are in my office that I'm not going to use. So I need to like arrange them so I can give them away. I just did one on my Instagram at Erin Designs if you want to go look at that. And I have some scheduled for my patrons on Patreon. If you are interested in that, I'm going to be giving away items quarterly for them. I also have 200 shop listings, starting a wedding shop, reaching $300 on Patreon, having 20,000 subscribers, and having 40,000 followers on Instagram, 20,000 on YouTube. I would like to make $2,000 in shop sales. My shop is never really my priority. If I get that wedding shop up, I think that's going to be an easy target. And if I keep releasing things instead of just, I don't know, and not being closed for 4 months of the year, that would be helpful too. I also would like to work out 4 times a week for 3 straight months, losing 30 pounds, managing my thyroid levels, pay into our student loans, have a backyard garden, building a stone fire pit in our backyard, building a shelter for our dog in the backyard, having a fence in the backyard. There's a lot of backyard things. adding art to our home, and then monthly budgets. So I have all these things written on a list that I'm keeping in the back of my notebook. So now I am getting out these gold metallic dots, and so each one of these dots is going to go over that item, and I will speed this up so you don't have to watch me carefully place these items and then show you how the scratch off works. Placing these on the seam was a little nerve-wracking, but I liked how this was set up, so I didn't want to set it up any other way. And this was perfect for the size of those squares. So now I'm just writing high, and I'm going to show you how the scratch off works with my finger. So it's basically a clear sticker paper that is under the scratch off portion of this. So it's going to be really easy to maintain. I accidentally wrote followers too long, so unfortunately that happened. But anyways, I'm really excited about this spread. If you watched during my Plan My Day series in November, which is when I planned every day Monday through Friday in my planner and posted a video on it, you would have seen a lot of book recommendations coming in throughout the throughout the series, whatever it's called, and I was all about it. I have been in such a rut with my books, and I need to find more books, especially ones that are on Audible, because I'll be traveling a lot for work. So I wanted to create this book recommendations page. I didn't actually put the recommendations in. I will share that spread on Instagram once I actually complete it. I have to go back through all the comments and write down all of those books that people gave me suggestions for. A lot of the suggestions were like dystopian, mystery, anything that they felt was very like a similar all-encompassing like world like Harry Potter is, because that's what I told them is my favorite series. And so they went off and gave me so many good things. So thank you to everyone that provided book recommendations. I will give you all credit when I put this page finally together and post it on Instagram. So thank you guys so much. It really meant a lot to me. I thought it was such a fun like community element to have on my YouTube channel. And it's one of the things that really like made me want to start a Facebook group for my patrons, because I thought just that fun element of like people talking to each other about things, and like I didn't need to facilitate any sort of conversation. They all just like went off and had a ton of fun, and I was all about it. So anyways, I'm doing this sea lion for this spread. There are sea lions that are I think they're just endangered. They're not critically endangered, but obviously with climate change and all that kind of stuff, and losing land ice and things like that, it's getting difficult for them. So these are just things that we have to keep in mind. Big shout out to Greta Thunberg, who is the Time Person of the Year for bringing up all the climate change stuff. I am a scientist. I have studied climate science, and you may not want to follow me after this, but you know what? It's real. Shocker, shocker. Anyways, so if you've been around this channel, you know that those are my beliefs. I discussed it in my January theme last year when I was doing Arctic animals as well. So I am finishing up this sea lion, and then I am also putting on the next page, which I didn't plan to do, but then like the book recommendations title went really long, so I want to put books completed, because not everything that I read will be book recommendations, although I think a lot of them will be, because you guys did a great job. So I just wanted to put like a little section for books completed as well, so that I could come back and just note some other books that I've read as well that aren't just from recommendations, and that I can mark off recommendations that I have read as well. So I wanted this all-encompassing spread. I was going to do some sort of meal tracking spread. That didn't end up happening this time around, but I love everything about this, and I hope you guys like it too. It really meant a lot to me, and I really hope you like the setup for 2020. I hope this gives you a lot of ideas on what you can do for 2020. And if you are not a patron and you want to be, go to patreon.com/ErinFlotoDesigns, because I am going to be showing you a ton and giving a ton to my patrons. Starting in January, it will not be beta tested anymore. So if you're interested in that, go see all of my social media links down below in the description and join us over on Patreon. Thank you everyone for joining me, and I will see you next time. Bye everyone.